All right, welcome back, folks. We are in week 2 of Overlord Prowler's round robin. We just saw Northern Storm blow away White Wolf with a really impressive performance in game 1 tonight. Now we're on to game 2, which pits Team Phoenix on the blue side against Blitzkrieg on the red side. Now, if I'm not mistaken, both of these teams came out on top last week, so only one team will end up unbeaten after the end of week 2 here. Any thoughts going into this matchup, Greg?
I think they need to ban the heck out of Foeden. He is a scary, scary man.
Well, Volibear band there obviously can be either top or jungle, and I even support occasionally, but that comes out early, maybe aimed at Foeden. Mixlink obviously likes that champion as well, but the Lilia taken away is not a surprise at all. We saw Lord of Admirals just do MVP level things on that champion last week in a pretty impressive comeback victory for Blitzkrieg. Zed banned out, so they don't want Fat Lee on that.
That's a shame. I
And
would
the
really like to
Jinx,
see a Zed played.
yeah, we don't see assassins too often in our GMA events, so yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll get a LeBlanc or a Fizz or something. Two bands, excuse me, aimed at Ooga Booga Queen did some really good things on that Lucian last week, so not surprised to see that taken away. And it is worth noting that we saw Primidin have a pretty impressive return to our events last week in week 1, just dominating on the Malzahar. And when we talked to him afterward, he thought he might not get to play it again. It is open right now if he wants to get it again, unless Blitzkrieg picks it away, of course. But it doesn't seem like a Fat Lee type champion.
It really doesn't. The Misfortune is absolutely a Tilted Pig special, so I'm not surprised to see that. Amumu, obviously, very, very Curse of the Sad Bullet Time is a horrifying combo to deal with. But to your point, Dr. Primeden, Malzahar is still up, and it's a pretty safe pick into just about anything, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them grab it here.
I also would imagine if you're Blitzkrieg, you know, you knew you left that up, you knew what Primidon did on it last week, so maybe you have something planned. Maybe you have a counter prepared where you're fine. It's almost a trap, and we'll see if the trap is sprung, because it looks like Primidon is hovering over it.
5 seconds left to decide. I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, there it
Yeah,
is.
they do pick it up.
Fat
So
Lee
we'll
is
see
a
now.
very skilled player, so if anyone can pull out a counter or a secret pocket pick, I wouldn't be surprised if he has one, but it's risky.
Absolutely, and by picking the Malzahar there, you kind of allow Blitzkrieg to pick up their mid laner here without, having to worry about giving away too much information or anything, because it's not like the Malzahar is going to go anywhere else.
Right.
So you get a counter pick sort of for free there. It's the Vigar, which we saw Fat Lee play to great success last week in Blitzkrieg's win. There was one moment where Fat Lee and Lord of Admirals pretty much 2v5'd to fend off a Nexus siege that I thought was really, really impressive from those two players.
Yeah, the Curse of the Sad Mummy, Bullet Time, and the Vigar Cage, oh my gosh, that's going to be incredibly difficult to stay away from. Banning the Kled makes sense. Foeden did a lot of work on that last week.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think about the Jin Nami lane?
It's sort of an odd choice to me. I suppose once they're level 6, the combination of the ults works very, very well. But the Nami and the Jin, I don't feel have the same level of synergy as, say, the Nami Lucian that they had last week. Of course, Lucian banned here, so they can't do that again. But it'll be interesting to see how it works out. I was impressed with Giovanni Yogurt's Nami last week. Lots of good bubbles, lots of good spell usage, so we'll see how it goes.
And there are the Foeden bands you were talking about.
Yep.
Right as we got started. 2 at the end here aimed at him. Nar band as well, so top laner is getting taken away. See what Tilted Pig picks up here, presumably for a teammate, given the Misfortune was already picked, and you mentioned that is a champion he is well versed on. Tilted Pig, who is not Pistol Crab, just in case anyone else besides me has trouble keeping those things straight. I promise I'll do better going forward, guys, or I'll at least try. Belveth picked up, so we'll see our second Belveth of the split. Last time Lord of Admirals was playing against it. This time he will be piloting it, I assume.
I think that means that's a Mumu support, if I had to take a guess.
Sounds about right. Unless they're
Used to
taking
be.
Belveth somewhere else, but it seems like everybody prefers her in the jungle.
Yeah. Amumu support used to be very, very strong. I don't know if it still has the same level of potency. I don't think it does. That said, once they hit level 6, if he hits a bandage, that is going to be very, very unfortunate for that bot lane.
Yeah, you talking about that? Yeah, the curse of sad bullet time, that old combo. Mordekaiser picked up and hovering over Zac. So, okay. Mordekaiser's
Hmm.
Zac, I would imagine that's going to be, I guess both those champions could go jungle or top. I assume Mordekaiser would go top, but we just saw Shaken play a really good Zac top. So,
Just
who
knowing,
knows these
yeah,
days?
knowing what Mixlink plays, I suspect he's going to be getting the Zac in the jungle. The Mordekaiser top sort of matches that fighter, do a lot of damage while still being beefy style that Foeden likes to play so much. Wow,
Yeah.
that is a wombo combo on Blitzkrieg's side. Holy moly.
Yeah, I like it though because both Vigar and Misfortune, Misfortune especially, is known for setting up the wombo combos with that ult or having the wombo combos set up for her. But even if the combos don't land, you still have two heavy damage dealers that are fully capable of doing things beyond that initial pop off.
It'll be interesting to see. I'm very reluctant to say that I feel like either team is damage light, because last time I said that, I was
Oh.
proven incredibly wrong. That said, I do feel like if the Ornn and the Amumu get tanky enough, they may have a little bit of difficulty punching through that front line. Unless Malzahar pops off again, at which point, forget everything I just said, Malzahar will 1v9.
Well, I do think that Malzahar will have a little bit more trouble this week with this particular team composition. There's just a lot of threats that can come at him from a lot of different directions. And then, of course, the Event Horizon drop down on top of him as well. But I'm not really sure whose comp I favor in this particular instance. I think that the Blitzkrieg's looks more balanced. Looks like they have more ability to play team fights in multiple ways. But actually, no, now that I say that, I don't even know if I'm right. I don't even know if that makes sense. You're the analyst. You tell me whose team comp do you like better?
They're both actually very, very good team comps, to be honest. My money is more on Blitzkrieg, simply on ease of execution. It's a lot easier to wombo combo that amount of ultimates and that amount of crowd control, whereas you need to really get the timing down and the coordination down for like the Jhin ult, the Nami ult, Zac jumping in. Mordekaiser needs to grab the right person, which can all be stymied by a QSS properly brought on the right individuals. So as far as ease of execution, I'd give it to Blitzkrieg, but of course, I've certainly been wrong before.
And it is worth noting you've got Mordekaiser and Malzahar on the same team. So QSS becomes a really, really valuable buy, given that there's multiple things that you want to be potentially using it for.
Absolutely true. If the Nami, if Jabani Yogurt is good with the ultimate, the wave, and throws it at the correct time, that Misfortune ult will become pretty much a non-issue. So it will really be a matter of timing and how quickly he can pull the trigger.
Yeah, you've got two sort of long-range setup artillery 80 carries here. Obviously, they're capable of doing other things, but in a dream world, they both would love to just be able to camp out behind a fight and fire off shots for free. But as you said, not just with the Nami, but many other champions, there's a lot of ways for them to be interrupted from long distance as well. And, if you're a Misfortune and you set up for your ult, that makes it pretty easy for Foeden to just walk in and take you to the death realm.
Yeah, absolutely true. And it'll be interesting to see what champion Foeden decides to prioritize for his ultimate. Obviously, it'll be the one that doesn't have the QSS, of course. But assuming, early on before everybody has one, or anybody has one, I should say, what do you think would be the biggest threat here? It's tough to say. The Belveth, obviously, getting carried away, that's a large problem. Can absolutely assassinate people, very, very hard to pin down. Might be the better choice of all the champions on the enemy team.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, that was my first thought as well. But at the same time, are you certain you can kill the Belveth one-on-one?
No.
Because, yeah,
No, you were not.
because, I mean, Mordekaiser gets some pretty significant inherent combat advantages against whoever he brings into the spooky world with him. But you know, if it's just all things even, I feel like Misfortune has the least tools to be able to survive that 1v1.
I suppose that is probably true. As far as skins go, it is absolutely looking like a Phoenix pick
Yeah,
here.
no skins on Belveth and Vygar. Again, all these people being frugal. I respect it, but you lose the skin battle. Ping's coming out. Looks like Blitzkrieg just wants to 5-point on the river. We'll see what Team Phoenix is looking for. They're all spread out in formation as well, so no invades again. Just gonna start casting in an Eeyore voice until someone does some level 1 stuff.
I suppose. No, I think it's probably the right call not to do an invade here. Technically speaking, Phoenix does have a decent invade comp, but they'd all have to take skills that are not ideal for a level 1, so they probably aren't going to go for it.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it would be smart to do it, but it'd be fun.
That's true, and that's what we're here for, right? We're here to have fun.
Yeah, on the other side, pretty much any level 1 CC that Blitzkrieg has as well would be pretty terrible to have in lane.
Interesting to see CB Hickey on the Amumu support. He did not go Glacial Augment, which is nightmarish to deal with. Perhaps he's just going for more of a beefy build, which makes sense because it's hard. Nami's obviously a lot more pokey, along with Jin, so that may actually be the better choice.
And I may have misspoken, actually. I guess, do you go Bandage Toss first on Amumu support?
Typically, yes.
I imagine you do. Yeah, I was just thinking of Amumu Jungle because that's where he's been played,
right,
you know, forever. And obviously you would never go Q first on that, but yeah, it's not like the W and the E really do that much for you level 1 as a laner, so.
No, they don't, and it's interesting to note as well the W, in which Amumu just cries and cries and cries. Not very good, actually, as support Amumu, just because it drains your mana so darn fast.
Yeah, sure.
You don't have the benefit of blue buff.
Yeah, you don't get a blue buff. Unless your jungler's feeling very, very generous.
Ooh, that was good.
That was nice, yeah, gotta get lucky canceling out that pull. Becomes unstoppable. I imagine we'll see a little bit of action up here in the top lane. Not that we didn't see much action last game, but it was unexpected that time. But, you know, Mordekaiser much more a champion that wants to get up in your face. Nice double up there from Tilted Pig, catches onto Giovanni Yogurt.
If Ornn does his ability that makes him unable to be stopped, does that stop the Mordekaiser ult?
That's a good question. I actually don't know that.
I mean, you'd have to time it perfectly, right? But I'm curious. I've never seen that interaction, so I don't actually know. It sure does. Okay, Prowler says it does.
Wow. All right, so that could be interesting. So, Gotta Get Lucky will probably not be the one that Fo Eden looks for in team fights. Lord of Admirals visited top lane. Now he's coming down to the mid lane, looking for Primidon. Gets the above and below, and the red buff is applied, but Fat Lee just was not in position to come up and follow up. Understandable, as the wave was pushing under his turret, and your Vygar, you just want to get those minions, get those stacks. Speaking of, we have a couple different champions in this match that we'll be wanting to track stacks on, so chat, please remind us to do that, because sometimes we forget. Lord of Admirals and Mixlink brawling in the river. Mixlink does have the passive available, and Lord of Admirals is got caught by the pull, and there are the bloblets. Fat Lee first to the roam, and Primidon finally follows up, able to scare away Fat Lee, but Lord of Admirals, with that ghost, gets away from Fo Eden as well. So we just lose the passive of Mixlink, no kills. For now, oh, they get a pull on the Gotta Get Lucky. Bella's Breath not available that time, and Mixlink catches on, but has nothing else to attach to, so couldn't pull Gotta Get Lucky back.
Just sort of an awkward tail end of that. Just grabs him by the butt, but can't do anything otherwise, as Ornn just slowly toddles away.
It's about sending a message.
Right.
Primidon pushing in Fat Lee early, to be expected, of course, in this particular matchup. So we've seen both junglers spending a decent amount of time up in the top side. Word of Admirals was the one who got that crab, but looks like Mixlink was able to get the one down in the bottom side. So equal on that, relatively equal on farm across all the lanes. Slight advantages to Primidon and Foeden.
The Vygar into the Malzahar was an interesting pick. I wasn't entirely sure I liked it until I realized that his Q will stack off those bugs. So that's actually going to be very beneficial for him.
Big brain. Now we do have the junglers in different halves of the map. For a moment, actually, never mind. Mixlink is probably going to cross over to the bottom half in a second. Not sure who I'd expect to make a play for Dragon first. Wouldn't surprise me, actually, if Blitzkrieg was willing to sort of hope that Phoenix goes for the Drake, and maybe they can trade it for the Rift Herald, because that's so valuable to Bel'Veth specifically. Gotta get lucky in Foeden, just having a little bruiser brawl up in the top lane.
So Zac will obviously be significantly tankier when it comes to these, larger objectives as well. So it'll be easier for him to go for Dragon. But to your point, that Bel'Veth passive, that is not something we can overlook here.
Yeah, that coral. Nice job by Primidon, bouncing the dot over to Fat Lee. Gets a pretty good chunk out of him. And yeah, okay, we're all just chilling for a sec. Calm before the storm, presumably.
Yeah, the
recalling.
what
Sorry,
you had called attention to earlier, like perhaps a more slow, more measured game. We did not get that in the first series here, but this one is looking significantly more calm.
Yeah, we'll see how long that sticks around, because Bel'Veth is up on the top side, gets spotted by a ward, and now knows that she was spotted by a ward, just takes out that pink ward. Foeden just walks back down, puts another one in the brush.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. Obviously now is not... Oh, maybe I'm speaking out of turn. Nope, never mind. It's interesting to see that there isn't more aggression coming out of the Amumu support. Admittedly, right now it wouldn't be a good idea, but you feel like the engage would be strong.
Yeah, we do have Mixlink. He's been down in this brush for about 20 seconds now, charging up the slingshot. They're staying pretty far away. I don't know if Giovanni Yogurt would be able to follow up even if that slingshot landed. But Mixlink is spending a ton of time down here. And now walks out and walked out in vision. So they are aware he was in there. And that also means, obviously, that they're aware he's not anywhere else on the map. So that gives the rest of the laners some safety. And Lord of Admirals has managed to accumulate a decent CS advantage in the jungle. Kind of off of that.
Yeah, the farm is very, very, very close in a lot of the lanes. For example, the 280 carries are within 2. That's very close. Top lane is very close as well. Significant discrepancy between the junglers.
Oh, there's the Death Realm from Foeden. Look for Gotta Get Lucky. He can't quite get back in range of the turret. Already used the Bell's Breath to dodge the pull. Flash away. Foeden doesn't have his flash available. Had to burn it earlier, so Gotta Get Lucky. Just barely able to escape from that situation, but will have to recall and presumably use his teleport to get back. Mixlink going back in. Slingshot lands. They're looking for Hickey. He doesn't have anything to attach to again, though. Just one arm out, but can't find anything else to pull him back. CV Hickey does have to burn the flash over the wall, which is a little bit of a comfort for Ooga Booga Queen and Giovanni, knowing that Amumu can't flash on top of you.
Just sort of an awkward engage there. I know what it was the right idea. I know what he's going for, but very, very smart by Tilted Pig to just turn tail and go the other direction. No way to connect that second melee on the Zac, and therefore CB Hickey gets to flash the wall.
Nice grenade there from Ooga Booga Queen, connecting that onto Tilted Pig. And so taking stock of everything right here, as we said, the laners are pretty much even in farm. Slight advantage for Primidon. There's the dragon taken by Mixlink and Giovanni Yogurt. So nice call out there. You were saying that the Zac would have more ability to go get that early on, and that is what takes place. Rift Herald still hasn't spawned yet, so no chance for Lord of Admirals to answer cross map in that particular regard. Bo Eden, he has flash advantage now and teleport advantage, so he can look to be pretty aggressive here as long as he doesn't get all in and as long as he knows the Belveth isn't nearby. Could look for a pull here, and does catch him, and the big Q as well. Death Realm not available, but he's just bullying this Ornn away. Call the Forge God is available, and he catches him again. The big mace comes down, gotta get lucky. Couldn't juke it, and that's a solo kill for Fo Eden.
Very, very well done by Fo Eden. I do wonder if Gotta Get Lucky couldn't have gotten out just by walking in a straight line, but in all likelihood, the Q from the Mordekaiser would have clipped him anyway. Just very well done by Fo Eden. Not a whole lot of options for Gotta Get Lucky there.
Yeah, I think it was going to be a kill no matter what because of the flash advantage. I think Fo Eden can Q flash even if Gotta Get Lucky were to have gotten under his turret, but it would have forced Fo Eden to expend the flash at least, as now he takes the Lord of Admirals into the Death Realm. There's no flash because the Lord of Admirals is running Ghost. It's a heal battle between these two AP bruisers, but Lord of Admirals is a jungler. He's not a laner. He doesn't quite have the levels or the damage. Able to just scoot away with the Void Surge, so survives and got the flash and the ult out of Fo Eden, so that makes Gotta Get Lucky a little safer coming back to this lane.
Yeah, Fo Eden already showing his assertiveness in this top lane. That's going to be really, really challenging for them to deal with as he gets even bigger. Good job on Lord of Admirals, though, to get out of that. I wasn't entirely convinced he'd be able to.
Yeah, me neither. Good use of the Bellows Breath by Gotta Get Lucky to get away from that pull, but does catch another Q on the behind.
Yeah, that Ornn has been punched in the butt multiple times by a variety of different abilities.
Starting to get tanky now, though, so maybe he'll be thick enough.
He's been working on his glutes.
Fo Eden, though, yeah, now he's just going to have a push priority constantly, so it's going to be pretty scary. And, you know, the thing about a Mordekaiser getting ahead is that even if you bring a jungler up, he can just take a 2v1 and make it a 1v1, as long as he has the ultimate available. So it becomes pretty tough to deal with a Mordekaiser that has a lane advantage.
Yeah, the Ornn just doesn't have any ability to trade back on these. The range of the Mordekaiser is just proving to be too powerful, and here comes a Rift Herald in the bottom lane from Lord of Admirals.
Yeah, worth noting, I did miss it, sorry, Lord of Admirals did get that Rift Herald, so able to get that Void Coral and then drops it in the bot lane, picking up a couple of plates. So solid usage of that. Fo Eden again gets the Death's Grasp onto Gotta Get Lucky. And in the mid lane, Primoden has been able to build up this CS advantage to a pretty significant amount now.
Yeah, it is interesting that the gold is basically perfectly...
That was a really nice move by Fo Eden. Able to dodge the knock-up and then get the Death's Grasp and an Obliterate down onto Gotta Get Lucky, who might have to back here. Yeah, I don't think you can afford to stick around with that Death Realm available again.
Oh, he's going for it.
Yeah, just a little cheeky interrupt there, I think.
Yeah, the farm, there's definitely some discrepancies between a few of these matchups, but the gold itself between the teams is dead even.
Oh, Gotta Get Lucky is in trouble. Taken into the Death Realm, but able to just walk away as Fo Eden was under turret and Lord of Admirals showed up. Call of the Forge God comes out, Gotta Get Lucky missed the redirect on the Call of the Forge God, but they might still get Fo Eden. Nice dodge from Lord of Admirals using the Void Surges to get away from that Obliterate, and Fo Eden does eventually get taken down in a very long extended engage. Kind of awkward with Gotta Get Lucky taken in the Death Realm. Primoden has to flash away from Fat Lee in the mid lane, so nice job by the Vygar there. So a couple of positive plays in the favor of Blitzkrieg in the last few seconds. In the bot lane, CS remains almost identical. And Lord of Admirals now off the back of that play is going to try to bully Mixlink away from his own blue buff. Primoden is in position to be able to have priority to roam to this though. Everfrost comes out. That's a nice little wrinkle there for Fat Lee. I feel like that Everfrost is nice just because it gets the spell shield off for free even if you don't get the root.
Yeah, it's interesting to see the Malzahar is a bit on the back foot here, just because...
Flash in from Fat Lee, yeah, there's just the Q ult. Not much you can do about that if you're Primoden, except just go back to base earlier.
Yeah. Like I was saying, if he's on the back foot, and then he was dead. So that's the ultimate back foot.
Yeah, and that's really big for Fat Lee, given that he had that CS disadvantage. able to get that kill back, which makes up for it, and now he's closed the CS disadvantage as well. Foeden gets the Death Grasp down again. And a couple of Qs. Shield absorbs the tower hit. Second Dragon is available. First one went over to Team Phoenix.
Looks like we're going to get a fight over here.
Yeah, it looks like Blitzkrieg is congregating around it. They have teleport advantage with Gotta Get Lucky up in the top lane.
Mordekaiser, of
You
course.
gotta get lucky though. You have to make sure you channel your teleport out of vision.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you will get grabbed.
And Mordekaiser, of course, does have the ability to pull him out of it, and that would be detrimental to that team fight. Although now it looks like that entire dragon fight is sort of dissolved into nothing now. Zach looking bot.
Yeah, he did walk over a ward though, so Tilted Pig and CB Hickey are gonna be aware of his presence in that general area.
It's also worth noting as well, they are both past level 6, so Curse of the Sad bullet time is 100% a possibility, and if they don't execute it correctly on Team Phoenix's side, they will be quite womboed.
Yeah, flash available for both Ooga Booga Queen and Giovanni Yogurt, so they have the ability to get away from CB Hickey at least once. Starting to see CS advantages develop in a couple of lanes now. Tilted Pig with a double-digit advantage down in the bot lane as they shove this wave into the turret. No more plates available, which means no gold, but also it's easier to kill the tower if you want to. Mixlink there, good awareness again from the bot lane of Blitzkrieg. Some damage comes down onto Fat Lee, the Malefic Vision's ticking away. Such an intricate little battle between those two. Vygar, who just wants to nuke you 100% to 0, whereas Malzahar just wants to whittle you down over the course of about 3 minutes. You have Mixlink, Giovanni Yogurt, and Ooga Booga Queen on this Drake, and this time we do see Lord of Admirals just trading for the Rift Herald up in the top lane, so that'll be another Void Coral. Assuming Foeden can't do something about this, be pretty ambitious, I think, for Team Phoenix to try to make a play on this. And Primogen shading towards the bot side of mid lane, so yeah, I don't think they're even interested.
Alright, so they just keep trading back and forth on the objectives. 2 dragons now in the hands of Phoenix, but the 2 Rift Heralds have gone over to Blitzkrieg, so still could go either direction, obviously, of course, and the farm is still being racked up, so not a lot of kills to speak
Primogen
of.
gets caught. Oh, this is a dead Malzahar for sure. Nice job. Fat Lee was able to pop the spell shield and then get the event horizon down. I don't think he even needed the Belveth, but Lord of Admiral shows up, gets the kill.
And now they're dropping the Herald as well.
In the mid lane as well, so this is going to be first turret, and it's going to be first turret in the mid lane, which I always think is extra valuable. Mixlink showing up, but I don't think he's going to be able to stop this, and he might. Oh, he's going to die for this now. Able to flash away, but gets knocked up by the above and below. Popped into Bloblets, and they absolutely have the damage to finish this.
Foeden does have teleport.
Is actually getting run down by Foeden. Nice job from the Mordekaiser to come down and salvage something out of this situation. Pulls him into the Death Realm now. Oh, Deadly Flourish comes out. There wasn't anything on Lord of Admirals that made it a root, though. And the Void Surges will just help this Belveth scoot away. Rift Herald was not quite able to finish off that second turret by itself. But a really, really nice sequence of plays there for Blitzkrieg. And they've got themselves a 2.8k gold lead all of a sudden.
Yeah, Foeden had teleport up for that, so he had to make a tough call. Was he going to save his Zac, or was he going to kill the Vygar? He went for the more bloodthirsty approach. I can't say I faulted. I don't think there's a wrong answer there. Either one of them would have worked just fine. And Vygar did die.
I'm wondering if he could have teleported to save the Zac and then immediately pulled the Belveth into the Death Realm. You know? But then I guess the Vygar probably finishes off the Zac after they're both gone anyways.
Yeah, and it does beg the question. I think that the Mordekaiser are still able to kill the Belveth 1v1, but the Belveth has got some money now and some items, so it's not a guaranteed
definitely
thing.
The tougher target.
Yeah. Probably the safer approach to just kill the Vygar, who had no health and mana.
Let's see, wait, what is our soul? What soul are we getting? We're getting Mountain Soul. Alright, so that's gonna be pretty nice, actually. It'd be nice for either team, now that I think about it.
That's true. If Blitzkrieg manages to get it, that's going to make Jin's life a lot more challenging to punch through that tank wall.
Yeah, at the same time, I'm looking at Blitzkrieg's comp, and I don't know who really builds an anti-shield item. I guess Vygar could. I don't imagine we're gonna see Tilted Pig picking up the Serpent's Kiss or anything like that, though. So if you don't have something to punch through those shields of Mordekaiser along with a potential Mountain Soul, that could be tough.
Absolutely
Lord of
true.
Admirals taking away some enemy camps, got the blue buff and the Gromp, and now going to take the Wolves as well. So worth pointing out, the CS advantage in the jungle has exploded. This Bel'Veth is up 64 CS and is 3-0 on the game. We saw Bel'Veth get very far ahead last week and not quite be able to bring the game home. They catch on to Foeden though, but there is the Death Realm. We are seeing this 1v1 against Lord of Admirals now. Can Foeden win this? He needs one more Q. He doesn't have the cooldown. He does get taken down. Lord of Admirals able to auto-attack him all the way. CB Hickey with a nice Amumu ult just to diffuse everything in the backline. Bel'Veth is wreaking havoc. Ooga Booga Queen is all alone. No more Void Surges to be had, but that doesn't matter. They're pinging Baron.
Very, very well done. We did get to see Curse of the Sad Bullet time. It did exactly what it was supposed to do. The Bel'Veth did win that 1v1 fight. I think the Mordekaiser may have missed a Q, but I think that the life steal was enough. And now the Bel'Veth is 5-0. They're going to get this Baron, and the game is now firmly in the hands of Blitzkrieg. Obviously, this could still go either way, but it is their game to lose at this point.
Yeah, Goldweed all of a sudden is 6,500, and we'll see how much they're able to use this Baron power play for. I haven't seen it too much, but I imagine Bel'Veth is a pretty potent split push champion.
Yeah, she can clear pretty quick, and she, as you can tell just from the farm differential between the Zac and the Bel'Veth, right? In the jungle, she just tears through the camps, which would go the same for a wave as well if she's going to split push or do damage to a tower. And it looks
yeah,
like...
well, you've got these, basically any champion that scales off of auto attacks. I mean, even if they're AP or what have you, they're always going to be threats to just melt towers when they're fed. I mean, we didn't see the whole thing, but he just melted that pink ward. It was savage. Ooga Booga Queen could get caught. No, Fatley didn't quite have the movement speed to get that event horizon down, but yeah, that turret is going to melt. Foeden gets an objective bounty and a turret, but this Mordekaiser, while ahead, just doesn't feel like he's far enough ahead to carry these fights. They jump in, big engage from Mixlink. Curtain Call doesn't do too much though, and Mixlink is just melting. CB Hickey goes back in nice bandage shots. Aqua Prison is good, but no one in position to follow up. They might look for Fatley with this Curtain Call. No, they're firing the shots other directions, and it looks like everyone from Blitzkrieg will be able to get away. Lord of Admirals goes back in, roots himself, doesn't get too much done, but it looked exciting. CB Hickey goes in alone. Big Curse of the Sad Mummy. There's the bullet time. They take out Primudin. Foeden has dragged Lord of Admirals into the Death Realm. He wants the 1v1. Again, Giovanni Yogurt takes out Tilted Pig. Foeden just doesn't quite have the damage to finish off Lord of Admirals. Hasn't had the gold yet to pick up grievous wounds. I think that could be a difference maker if he can get to, looks like he's going towards a Bramble Vest.
Yeah, these fights are on a knife's edge. Very good. I thought that the Amumu bandage in was not the right call, but they managed to get the kill on Primuden fast enough. I'm starting to wonder if the Mordekaiser ult on the Bel'Veth is the right call. But I guess I don't really... You grab who you can grab range-wise, so perhaps it is all that you can do here.
Yeah, I understand it because, you know, if you don't take the Bel'Veth in, maybe Bel'Veth just kills everybody while you're killing somebody else. And I also I respect it from Foeden. Like, he picked the biggest guy in class, and he's picking a fight with him.
That's fair. I mean, that's what you do, right? It's, your first day in jail is you punch the toughest guy, so...
Wouldn't know, thankfully, but I'll let you know if I ever find out.
Well, Mordekaiser's literally making a jail, so...
That's true. A spooky jail.
Yeah.
Fatley has done a nice job of not allowing that early CS advantage that Primudin got to snowball. Primudin actually sitting at 0-3 now. Or actually, I think my scoreboard hasn't even updated. Yeah, 0-4 now.
See, it's interesting to note as well that Giovanni Yogurt, despite having the warding item, is still rocking the yellow trinket. As a former support main, it is a minor pet peeve to see that.
And man, yeah, Lord of Admirals is getting close to actually having the highest CS in the game at this point. He's taking away the topside camps of Mixlink for about the second or third time in a row, it feels like.
Yeah.
And they're gonna get this turret for free.
Yeah, I think the what I was reluctant to say in the champion select is coming to fruition now. I just don't think that Phoenix has enough damage to punch through Blitzkrieg at this point.
Yeah, I mean, the Jhin is not really being able to do what Ooga Booga Queen wants to do, I don't think. Just having to be so fearful of CB Hickey's ultimate, of Lord of Admirals jumping on him at any given moment. And so he hasn't really just been able to dance around and fire off the shots. And we've seen Primidon just get caught a couple of times early in fights.
See, the Bel'Veth has a ton of farm. Very, very close to Flame Horizoning on the Zac. Zac doesn't farm as fast, so that's somewhat to be expected, but man, that is a scary Bel'Veth to deal with.
We have Drake coming up in 45 seconds. Neither team on Soul Point yet, and I don't expect us to get either team to Soul Point here, as I would imagine, especially based on their positioning right now, that Blitzkrieg is going to be able to secure this one pretty easily.
Sweep it. He was standing on a ward.
They don't know they're on a ward. It just died, so now they know.
Boy, that was minorly awkward.
And yeah, if I'm Team Phoenix, I don't think I'm even walking up to this Drake.
No, there's no reason to. I mean, it's only their second one. It's nowhere near Soul, like you said, so why risk it?
Maybe you can have Mixlink try to do a little flyby slingshot steal.
Even that's kind of risky. I think if anything, you just Jhin ult it and try to, like, plink it, but they kill it so immensely fast.
Yeah, I was gonna say that died incredibly quickly. Foeden just trying to do Mordekaiser, split push things. Probably the best plan of attack they have right now, but now Foeden could be in trouble. There's no turrets for miles for this Mordekaiser. And he's gonna get cut off. Make It Rain will slow him down. Actually, they jump back in onto Giovanni Yogurt. That's really nice. Just baiting the Nami in, trying to go up and save Foeden. There's the Curse of Dead Mummy. Bullet time across again. Foeden pulls in CB Hickey this time into the Death Realm, so he should win this battle at least. Permitted on the backside is able to get Tilted Pig down. So Fat Lee is going to have to fend for himself in the backline, but now the cavalry arrives. Lord of Admirals, he's killed the backline. Now he's coming for the front line. Nice route from Ooga Booga Queen, actually. And here comes the curtain call. Can they find the shots onto Lord of Admirals? They need to get through, gotta get lucky. They can't do it. One more lands, and Lord of Admirals, good job juking away. Oh, Ooga Booga Queen, gotta be careful. Yeah, he's gonna get Bellows Breath on. That's not a verb, but I'm just gonna make it one. Lord of Admirals, and gotta get lucky. Looks like everybody's willing to just let this fight diffuse at this point. So at 3 for 3, if you're Team Phoenix, you're probably feeling okay about that.
Yeah, that's not too bad for Team Phoenix, all things considered. The Curse of the Sad Bullet time did not work as well that time. I think the ult, the Misfortune ult was only on one champion. Knife's Edge fight still. Foeden doing a lot of work, Bel'Veth doing a lot of work. It's just a matter of which of those two players can kill the enemy team faster.
Yeah, and I mean, it was Lord of Admirals, but he had just a good amount of distance, I think, to cover to get back to kill the rest. And it was a really key deadly flourish by Ooga Booga Queen just north of the river to survive that, because otherwise I think that he gets run down very easily, and then Foeden probably dies too because he doesn't have the support of the curtain call.
Yeah, I don't know if the Mordekaiser ult on the Amumu was quite the right play. Maybe it stops the Curse of the Sad Mummy, but that outside of Curse of the Sad... Oh, yeah, I mean, it didn't.
The Mummy did come out. But CB Hickey could be caught here, doesn't have flash, so he's going to go down. And this could go right into a Baron attempt, actually, because Bel'Veth is on the opposite side of the map. Now Team Phoenix, they're not going to risk that. Yeah, I think Foeden he was taken down to about 30% health by the bullet time, and I think he just looked to grab somebody and just
To stop
at
by.
least,
Yeah.
yeah, grab somebody. You know, he probably saw it was the Amumu and figured, well, I can still win this fight even from 30% health.
Although he actually
Looking to
wasn't
pull onto
able to kill
Fatley.
it.
Yeah, it was close.
The Amumu did get away, although he did eventually die, but he didn't die in the Mordekaiser roll.
Oh, he didn't die in the Death Realm. Good
No,
point.
he managed to get out, barely, and then died immediately afterwards.
The gold lead 7,000 and change, which is about what it's been for a while now. So Team Phoenix, they've staunched the bleeding, at least temporarily. Second Drake was picked up for Team Blitzkrieg, though, so they have still continued to make headway.
Yeah, despite the fact that the Blitzkrieg is in firm control of this game, it doesn't feel how can I say it? It doesn't feel free. It doesn't. They're gonna have to work for it because Phoenix has the tools to turn this around. All it takes is a couple more fights that go their way, and suddenly this game is neck and neck again. Oh,
Lord of Admirals is soloing Baron, and it looks like he's going to be able to do this. Now, the players on Team Phoenix are well... they have the knowledge that they must know that Belveth is capable of doing this. Yeah, they do wander over. Their spidey sense tingled enough. And Foeden has not just the Grievous Wounds, but the full Thorn Mail now. So I think he's much better equipped to handle Lord of Admirals. If we end up getting that duel again, then again, Lord of Admirals is 7-0 and 5 now, so even stronger in his regard as well.
I think that solo Baron attempt actually could have worked if Gotta Get Lucky had just continued brainlessly pushing the top lane. I say brainlessly because it wouldn't have been very smart to do it, but that would have pulled pressure over there and they wouldn't even think to check it.
Yeah, and by him wandering over there, maybe it sort of tipped them off a little bit.
Tough to say. That said, I'm not entirely sure that Lord of Admirals would have had the lifesteal to actually pull it off without help, so... Either way, it played out the way it played out.
And Fatley and Primidon have just been playing their own little tug of war down in the bot lane for the last 5 minutes, which I'm sure Vigar is very happy to do. Oh my gosh, we haven't been checking stacks, you guys. I'm so sorry. Third Drake being picked up. I promise we'll check stacks after that. Looks like we might actually get a fight, which would surprise me. They do get a catch onto CB Hickey, and Deadly Flourish comes out. Bullet time basically just used for disengage. Gotta Get Lucky can't get the Call of the Forge God off, and Fat Lee is pulled into the Death Realm by Foeden. So he's picked a different opponent this time around, and he is destroying him. Comes out right in the middle of the event horizon, though. Lord of Admirals is in the back line just wreaking havoc, of course, but Tilted Pig is going to drop. Foeden is 3v1ing. Lord of Admirals wasn't quite able to do the same on the opposite side, and Oga Boga Queen is going to finish off Gotta Get Lucky, so a 4-for-1. Baron is on the map, and Lord of Admirals is going to have to come up with something special to keep this game from getting back basically to even.
Yeah, there's a distinct lack of Grievous on Blitzkrieg's team. I mean, there's a Thornmail out there, but I don't see anything else. And I think that's starting to hurt because the Mordekaiser is just so difficult to deal with at this point.
Yeah, and the thing about Thornmail is, it's a great item most of the time, but in terms of Grievous Wounds, it's up to the other player to hit you and activate that. If they don't hit you, then there's no way for you to apply it.
Yeah, there is actually, now that I look at their comp, I mean, you could get a Morellonomicon on Vigar, but that's still not super ideal. I think your best bet's probably to get it on Misfortune, but...
Yeah, I would agree with that. I'm a little bit surprised that Team Phoenix went for that inhibitor when I think they could have gotten Baron, but since the jungler was the one person still alive, maybe they were worried about a steal.
This is ambitious.
Right back comes Blitzkrieg. They are not looking to be on the back foot in this game for long, but just as I say that, they do retreat.
Probably the right call.
Down to about 4,000.
If they get pinched in that pit, they're probably dead, and that's probably the game, so they need to be cautious here.
Primy didn't land some decent damage onto Fat Lee. Deadly Flourish, it looks like, landed as well, but Fat Lee has a pretty good health pool for a mage like Vigar. Pulling from Foeden, he does. drag Lord of Admirals back in, and a lot of damage coming out. Nice Void Surge away from the Deadly Flourish. That could have spelled death. But now, Foeden, he wants more. He's looking. I think he's got Tilted Pig in the Death Realm with him. But Tilted Pig actually has a stopwatch, so he's able to just get away from that situation. CB Hickey looking for an ult, only gets one. It is Ooga Booga Queen, but that's not going to be enough. Bullet Time scrapes across the front line, but CB Hickey is going to drop. Call the Forge God comes out, able to interrupt the curtain call. Mixed Link looking for more, still has the passive, I think. Got to get lucky, going to get taken down. The front line is gone for the side of Team Blitzkrieg. And Foeden is still full health. Mixlink, I believe, still has passive. And so that will mean that this could be a Baron.
Yeah, just a little bit of a disjointed fight by Blitzkrieg. I think if they had been more coordinated on that, they probably could have either not had as many losses or potentially even won the fight off full out. But as a result, it didn't pan out that way. Phoenix is now in pretty good shape, and unless there's a steal, they're going to get Baron.
Yeah, Fatley didn't have vision, so just had to throw his combo over the wall and try to time it. Was relatively close. That Baron was at about 1,300 health, but a little early. Lord of Admirals doesn't have flash. I believe he still could have gotten over the wall with his Void Surge because he is in his ultimate form, but probably not worth risking. So Baron goes over to the side of Team Phoenix. They've basically pulled this game all the way back to even. 2,000 gold is pretty inconsequential when we're 35 minutes in. It is still sole point, though, for Blitzkrieg.
It is still point, but Team Phoenix is looking a lot more capable in these team fights now. It's no longer a foregone conclusion. I think the reprioritization of the Mordekaiser ult off of just the Belveth is probably a good call. They can go after some other targets. And as a result, these team fights are not going nearly as one-sidedly.
Yeah, I feel bad. I feel like Foeden gets caught in the event horizon. Can he survive this? He pulls in Lord of Admirals, I believe that is. No, it's not Lord of Admirals. God, it's so hard to see Inspector Client who is in the Death Realm. But a great ultimate from Gotta Get Lucky. Call the Forge God knocks up 3, and the Bloblets will drop. Curtain Call comes out. I don't think that they're going to be able to get much out of this, though. Primoden and Ooga Booga Queen are all that's left, and they've got to be careful because Ooga Booga Queen could get run down here. Gotta Get Lucky is on the chase. Lord of Admirals on the flank. Above and below doesn't land, but Ooga Booga Queen is still going to drop. Lord of Admirals flashes. The Void surges. There's nothing to be done. Primoden will take down CB Hickey. Unfortunately, the Malefic Visions were not close enough to bounce anyone else, and now he's just going to get run down as well. Event Horizon doesn't quite land, but that's not going to matter. Lord of Admirals, excuse me, Gotta Get Lucky picks up the ace, and this will be Soul. There are super minions on the Nexus turret, so someone's going to have to go back and stop that, but they won't need anyone else other than Lord of Admirals to take down the Strake.
Yeah, that was a solid fight. The disjointedness that we were discussing earlier, that is not the case here. They made that fight look good, although they do have to clean up the base, like you said. But suddenly we have a Mountain Soul that is firmly entrenched on Blitzkrieg, and suddenly this game is real. Honestly, I was gonna say it's real one-sided, but it's not. It's still really close.
Yeah, that was, I mean, really, really nice fight from Team Blitzkrieg there, but I just think that was set up by Phoenix making a mistake. I just don't think you don't walk into a choke point against Vygar Ornn. That's
true. Yeah, and that's what I was mentioning in the beginning of it as well. Like the ease of execution for this Blitzkrieg team. All it really takes is one misstep from Team Phoenix, and then they can just layer all of their CC down, and that's exactly what they did there.
Yeah, that Call of the Forge God felt like the difference maker in that fight. I think it hit 3. They were all pretty much stacked on top of each other too, so it was just, might as well have been a Malphite ult. Primoden could be in trouble here, still has the spell shield. And Gotta Get Lucky won't get in range. Did have Call of the Forge God, so maybe could have looked for a pick there if he could have gotten the spell shield off first. But now the rest of Phoenix is there to back up their Malzahar. Primoden, nice comeback in this game, was 0-3, now has pegged it back to 4-6-4.
And he's kept it very even in farm as well. It's a very, very close farm game in the mid lane.
Got a Death Brush being set up here. They finally put a ward over the side. I was going to say the Death Brush might not work if you don't have vision over that wall, but now they have it.
They officially also have Ornn items on every single one of their team.
Ooh. Oh my gosh, you guys. I'm so sorry. Stacks. Okay, 400 stacks for the Vygar. 400 stacks for the Vygar and 130 stacks for the Belveth.
Yeah, and if I'm Team Phoenix here, I'm probably not looking to fight until you have to, until there's an objective that has to be contested.
Yeah.
Unless you can manage to get a pick somehow, which, you definitely could. It's the team fight is going to be, really, really hard for them to pull off just because of all of the layered CC that they can put down.
And if you're Foe Eden, you have the ability to sort of, if you can find anyone 1v1, you can probably get a pick just with your ultimate by itself. But you need to have your team nearby just because you come out of that Death Realm, you don't want to be surrounded by the other 4 members of the team.
Mm-hmm. Giovanni Yogurt with a vision score of 100, which is insane.
Able to get away with that spell shield from the event horizon. And that should be available again by the time Baron spawns in a minute, so not too much harm done. Foe Eden looking for a pull. Lord of Admirals is zoned away from the rest of his team right now. Foe Eden's just sort of disrupting in the middle, but there's a nice event horizon again in that choke point. Just so tough to do anything against a Veigar in jungle corridors like that.
Yeah, they don't really have a good way to get past that, do they? Outside of even the Zac jump gets stopped by that, so there really isn't much. Once it's down, you just have to either walk around or wait.
Yeah, I mean, the Zac can jump around it, Obviously, Slingshot creates angles that aren't available to very many other champions. But even then, if you're, going in by your lonesome, I don't know if that's a good idea. Deadly Flourish comes out, they root, gotta get lucky up, but that's not gonna do much. Primogen gets knocked up, and now Mixlink has to go just trying to save his mid laner. And then has to flash out of the event horizon, so those are some cooldowns burned on the side of Phoenix ahead of this Baron fight. Baron spawns in 2 seconds, and with this Lord of Admirals 130 stack Belveth, could be scary. Nice pull from Foe Eden onto Fat Lee, actually. A little surprised he didn't try to pull him to the Death Realm there. CB Hickey goes in, gets the ult onto just Primogen, but no one was in position to follow up. Bullet time comes out, actually, and Primogen is really low. He comes out of the stasis, and the passive is popped for Mixlink as well. In the back, Lord of Admirals is getting kited out, though, so it's a 1-for-1. Both junglers dead, just as Baron spawns. If you're Team Phoenix, yeah, I think you'd like to extend this fight. There's a pull onto Fat Lee. He doesn't quite have the damage to kill Foe Eden. They get a bubble onto Gotta Get Lucky. Foe Eden is just playing the min-max game right now, trying to get as much as he can with his limited health pool. Fat Lee taken really low, but he won't drop either. Everybody is so... Oh my god, the Deadly Flourish threaded its way through 3 players to find Fat Lee. 55-second death timer on that Veigar. How is your health regen? Looks pretty good. If I'm Phoenix, I'm looking at Baron right now. They are not, though, so maybe they're smarter than me. I'm not Phoenix.
I mean, they could look for Baron, but even if they did, it'd still be a 50-50. There's no smites on the board right now. I think as far as what you mentioned earlier, way back before that fight popped off, he didn't pull him into the Death Realm because the Veigar has a QSS, or at least he did. Actually, I think he does. He's just what's it called? The Silvermere Dawn, whatever it's called, the upgraded version. Yeah. So you can no longer really easily pull the Veigar. You don't have that option anymore. Fair. You can't really even pull the Misfortune because she has GA.
Yeah. So I mean, are we back to just it being inevitable that we get the Lord of Admirals Foe Eden 1v1 in the Shadow Realm?
I think it probably has to be. I mean, even the Amumu has the Zonias, so.
I mean, not the one thing, but another thing about the Mordekaiser ultimate is its ability to eliminate smite battles.
That's true.
They pull and Gotta Get Lucky, but that's not really the target you want to be focusing. He is incredibly tanky right now, especially with that Mountain Soul. Primogen gets a little bit of damage down with the Malefic Visions. Foe Eden is very far forward right now. He's got to be careful. Has to pop the Hourglass early. Nice side away from Giovanni, but Foe Eden is in a lot of trouble. Pulls in CB Hickey into the Death Realm. That was his only option, really, or he surely would have died. CB Hickey is going to pop his own stasis, and now Gotta Get Lucky is on the front line. He's feeling good, feeling tanky. CB Hickey takes a bubble. Curtain Call coming out, but everybody's so tanky that these bullets are barely doing any damage. Lord of Admirals goes back in with the above and below. Foe Eden still alive, trying to regen up as much as he can. That dragon has been leashed, it feels like, for about the last 30 seconds. Lord of Admirals has got it down to about 66% health. This is gonna go on for a while. Somebody get me an oxygen tank. Never mind, Foe Eden dropped.
Oh!
He is gone, and that's a big deal because he is obviously the strongest member on this Team Phoenix lineup right now. Primogen goes forward. He's trying to get something done. Fatly, there's that QSS investment you were talking about. CB Hickey goes in, doesn't have the Curse Inside Mummy, but he will drop. Back comes Lord of Admirals, though. So powerful, so much healing. They can't finish him off. I don't think the Malefic Visions will tick, but not quite enough. The clock doesn't strike midnight for the Belveth. Primogen walks too far forward, gets taken down by the Dark Matter, and now I think they can finally go for this dragon. Lord of Admirals is healed back up enough that he should be able to secure this pretty easily. Teleport coming back in from someone. Gotta get lucky as well.
Yeah.
And Giovanni Yogurt and Ooga Booga Queen are just going to have to make something miraculous happen. Force shot almost kills Fat Lee, but they can't quite get the damage down. Elder Drake picked up. Man, that was a long fight. Oh, Ooga Booga Queen is going to find Fat Lee on the backside. Nice little instincts there from the Jhin, figuring that someone was going to be recalling by their lonesome there, but now Lord of Admirals got to get lucky, and CB Hickey, or excuse me, Tilted Pig, ganging up on the Baron. There's nothing this Purple Worm can do. There's nothing Phoenix can do. Lord of Admirals just nukes this down so fast. Gonna get a nice Void Coral for it as well. And now, feels like Team Blitzkrieg has reasserted themselves, managed to retake full control of this game.
Absolutely. They won that fight. They came out ahead of it. They get the Herald, or not the Herald, I'm sorry. They get the Elder, and they get the Baron. However, it was not clean. They had to claw for that tooth and nail. It was a messy fight. Mistakes on both sides. Really good play on both sides. When it's a fight that goes that long of an extended fight, naturally you're going to have some people, misclick, make mistakes. It's going to happen in any game like this when it's this close. 46 minutes in. And it's important to note that even though they are in the lead, it could still swing back with one mistake.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Gotta Get Lucky should look for any initiation right now. You've got these triple buffs right now. Yeah, look at how quickly they destroy the front line. Fo Eden's going to drop any second now from that Elder buff. Yeah, this is game over. I like that call from Gotta Get Lucky at that point. It doesn't matter who you hit with the Ornal. You just want to start a fight.
Absolutely true. He just sends it. He nails the return trip. The cage was perfectly placed to catch too.
Bullet time. Primogen's gone as well. They dealt with the Malzahar. They weren't afraid of it. Lord of Admirals looking for one more. Flash from Ooga Booga Queen will keep him alive, but maybe not for long. Never mind, the Nexus fell incredibly fast. And Team Blitzkrieg win a marathon of a game, 47 minutes long. Lord of Admirals ending 10, 1, and 11. Really, really good stuff from both teams, to be honest. But Blitzkrieg comes out ahead.
I'm really curious to see the scoreboard and the damage dealt. Yeah, that's crazy. Fat Lee with almost 44,000 damage dealt. Belveth not far behind with 36, 38 on the Mordekaiser, 39 on the Malzahar, 38 on the Jhin. Just a bloody, bloody game.
Yeah, that was a what do they call it in Britain? I don't know. A good game. Let's see, who do we want to bring in? Who should we hear from after that one?
My vote would be for Fat Lee. That Vigar cage, it's clutch.
Okay, well, Fat Lee is not in Discord. He has left the building, apparently. Wonder if that game just went a little too long for him. Yeah, let's get CB Hickey in here.
Sure.
Let's give some support, some love.
Sounds good.
Hopping over. Hey, CB Hickey, how you doing? Congrats on the win.
Thank you. It's a fun game.
Yeah, it was fun to watch, man. I'm telling you. Greg, do you want to start us off?
I have a lot of questions, but I'm going to try to limit it to just one. I guess the big question is, tell me a little bit about the communication with your team, especially for a game that is that close, that back and forth, and that contentious.
We have a lot of communication. It's actually really cool. This is one of the best teams I have communication-wise in game, and I've been playing in this for a while. But basically that whole time we just kind of knew if we didn't die early to their bot lane, we were gonna do really well, and that's just kind of what happened.
Now, with the Belveth pick in particular, it felt like, and I know this makes sense, it felt like bot side was being kind of deprioritized for you guys early game because those Rift Heralds are obviously so valuable. Or the Belveth. Was that something that you guys had planned ahead? Like, we are going to play towards top side because of that? Or was that just the way the game shook out?
So yeah, Admirals plays Elveth quite well, and he kind of said at the beginning, I'm gonna go for Rift early, and so Mumu, it was not actually really on the radar for support until pretty close to game time there for me, and so it kind of just made sense to play it a little slower there on the bot side, regardless.
Awesome. Well,
Thanks.
it was an exciting game. It was fun to watch. I'm glad to hear it was fun to play. Congrats on the win.
Thanks, man.
All right, folks. Well, we are 2/3 of the way through week 2 of Overlord Prowler's round robin. Congrats again to Blitzkrieg on that win. Marathon of a game. I'm gonna go get some water, and we'll be right back for game 3.